Hey people, what is up? Welcome back to our channel. It's HOUR, our channel, and you know the drill. It's me once again, QuickSilver 15, back with another video. And today we'll be reviewing something wonderful. And of course, we'll be talking about Wonder Woman 1984 or Wonder Woman 84. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first of all, we have, of course, Gal Gadot. The amazing, the beautiful Gal Gadot reprising her titular role as Wonder Woman, as Diana. Of course, because I don't think anybody calls her Wonder Woman in the movie. It's just always Diana. And of course, we have Chris Pine oddly reprising his role as Trevor, Steve Trevor. And of course, we have Pedro Pascal as Maxwell Lord, the big bad of the movie. We'll talk more about him later. And we have Kristen Wiig surprisingly cast as Dr. Barbara Minerva, aka Cheetah. Yeah, and that is the most surprising cast choice that I have ever heard. Of course, Kristen Wiig is known for her comedies, and it was very much a shock to a lot of people that she be cast as one of Wonder Woman's main villains. Of course, again, it's Cheetah. And so now let's go over the overview, quick overview of Wonder Woman 84. Again, the quick overview, we have Diana. Of course, it's been a few years after the events of the first Wonder Woman, and it's now the 80s. And she's been working as a museum researcher, something like that. And they find this mysterious rock from a place raided by the FBI, a black market place. It's gonna be shown at the first part of the film. And of course, there is this magical wishing rock that grants everyone's wishes, but for a price. Usually a price you will not be willing to pay. Of course, that's how wishing stuff usually goes in movies. So it's kind of like, you know, the monkey's paw. Something bad usually happens after you wish from it. So it sort of goes with the saying, be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. So moving on. The big bad of the movie apparently knows about this stone for some reason. Some business tycoon knows of mystical stuff, which is kind of weird. And he seems to know more about it than people who actually study this stuff. So, that's a bit weird. And, you know, he has some sort of convoluted plot to wish to become the wishing stone. And yeah, so that's just weird to you guys. It is, and it's just such a convoluted plot that it actually requires a lot of ex machina to work. Although I don't know, it kind of works. That it's so weird that it kind of works. I don't know, I'll leave it up to you guys. But for me, personally, now that I'm actually trying to explain the plot, it sounds weirder than when I actually watched the movie. So, one thing I actually didn't like about the opening of the movie is they had another flashback, which to me kind of made no sense. Like, we want to see Diana in action, and I mean, we had a lot of flashbacks in the first one, you know? So having it here seems a bit redundant because we already know who Wonder Woman is, you know? We don't need to learn that she had some troubled childhood and now she has to prove herself. We've been there, man. We already know. And we already know she is already like the female Superman, which is essentially the pinnacle of virtue, for God's sake. So I don't know, man. That whole child's opening sequence is a bit weird, and you don't really go back to it. There isn't any part of the movie that references it. I mean, I think there is, but it's just such light reference that the whole opening sequence still doesn't make sense. And that light reference wouldn't, even without the opening sequence, it would still work based purely on Wonder Woman's character. So, seriously, the opening sequence, you can just cut it out. So the characters and cast, I really love them all individually, but you have to really give props to Pedro Pascal. Me personally, coming from The Mandalorian, he did a good performance here as well, and I personally think that he is the best part of the film. Of course, Gal Gadot is beautiful and amazing as Wonder Woman. The story had good concepts, but I wish they would have explored more. For example, the part where about Wonder Woman losing her powers. I think that was a good idea too. They should have explored a bit more. And of course, we have Chris Pine. He's good as Trevor, but ultimately, I think his character is pointless because we've already been over him. We're over him, man. And Wonder Woman is just a strong character on her own. And of course, we do love Kristen Wiig as well. We love all her comedies, but sadly, I think she failed to give us an intimidating villain as Cheetah. But ultimately, I think it all falls back to the story writing of the film, because they didn't really give us such a compelling character. I believe in the comics, Cheetah and Wonder Woman were best friends, and I think they should have dwelled more into that backstory before turning her into a villain. So that would have been a much more compelling fight then, and there will be a lot more struggle in Wonder Woman's part facing off against her best friend. A good point about this movie is there is a lot of fan service. We have first and foremost, we do have a nod to Wonder Woman's invisible jet, and finally it did make its first on-screen appearance. We don't really see, well, we saw it at the beginning, of course, then she magically turned it invisible. Although one of my problems with that is, now that Wonder Woman is known to have invisibility, turning things invisible, can she turn herself invisible, and will that even make sense in the future, or is it just something that is a throwaway thing that we will never see again? So that's just another plot hole that scene opens up. And of course, Steve Trevor, you are a pilot, man. Why would you fly a plane into a bunch of fireworks? I mean, that probably isn't safe. Of course, speaking of fan service, we do also get to see the golden armor used by Wonder Woman. Of course, usually in the comics, she does only bring up this armor against extremely powerful villains like Darkseid and the such. So seeing it get trashed by Cheetah was kind of underwhelming. Although I think at this point Cheetah should be a bit stronger than Wonder Woman. I do not know, but still I don't think she should have damaged the armor as much as she did if we are basing it with the armor's durability in the comics. So yeah, that's just also a bit underwhelming. And one of the best Easter eggs they did add to the film is the Linda Carter cameo. So she does make an appearance in this movie, and we won't go over it, but it's just such a sweet nod to the original Wonder Woman series back, I think, in the 80s as well. So that was such a beautiful addition to the movie. And again, of course, going back to my original point, this movie does have a lot of good concepts that they just brushed away so quickly, and that we wish they would have dwelt on them a bit more. So for example, again with Cheetah, yeah. So the soundtrack was good, and of course the cinematography is what you would expect of a big budget film, except of course again of this one particular scene where Wonder Woman was running and she literally, okay guys, I am using not a super expensive camera, of course, and of course when I do this it would look like I'm just stationary and I'm just doing my arms back and forth like this. And this is exactly the shot they did for Wonder Woman running in the desert. Oh my god, that was so bad and cringy. And was it green screen? Was she actually moving? Because you can't really tell because of the scene and the shot. It was just, it's just so weird, man. You don't, I don't know. Am I running? Of course not, but you get my point. It was just such a weird shot. It was actually super funny. So, of course, let's move on. Overall, I think Wonder Woman is just, there were a lot of good concepts, but all of them did kind of fall flat. They didn't do it much justice. So comparing it to other superhero movies, I think it will just rank a bit higher than Thor: The Dark World, because that movie was just super bad. But I think Wonder Woman deserves some credit. It's not as bad as that, but it's not so much better. So what do you guys think of this film? Did we miss any Easter eggs? If we did, please comment it down below. And of course, if you've seen the film, what do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. And of course, if you like this video, please do give it a thumbs up. And of course, don't you forget to hit that subscribe and notification bell so you'll be notified of our next videos. And once again guys, it's me, your bearded bro, QuickSilver 15, signing off. Peace.